I've been trading for quite some time, longer than I would like to admit, but I have not quite found a strategy that works as well, as consistent, and most importantly, as profitably as the strategy that I trade live every single day right here on this YouTube channel. So why am I bringing this up? And you might be wondering why I titled this video the way I did. The reason is because I never expected this strategy to work as well as it does. I accidentally stumbled upon this strategy, believe it or not, because of my live streaming. So in this video, I wanted to talk about how I discovered this strategy, what the strategy is. I'm going to be completely transparent about my stats. I'm going to show you my stats that I can't even fake, even if I wanted to, because I do it live every single day. I'm going to show you the prompt firm accounts that I've failed and passed. I'm literally going to show you everything, give you the full story of basically where I'm at in my trading journey and how you can join me if you want to for practically 100% free. So if that doesn't sound good to you, you can go ahead and leave the video. But if you want to stick around, all I ask is that you like this video, leave a comment, subscribe, do whatever you got to do, notifications on if you want to keep seeing my content like this, because that is the only way YouTube will show you this type of content. So with that being said, let's dive into this video. So how did I stumble upon this strategy? And don't just skip to the strategy part, because this is kind of important, all right? This is going to kind of frame everything. I've been trading for a long time, like I said, so I've already had an understanding of technical analysis and the basics of trading, but I only started trading prompt firms about 4 months ago. Literally when I started live streaming is basically when I started trading not only prompt firms, but futures for pretty much the first time. So I was going in completely blind, other than everything that I've known about basic technical analysis. I came from crypto, I made some money in crypto, okay, but futures trading and specifically prompt firm trading, both I never really attempted. So I was basically trying futures trading on hard mode, because we all know how prop firms have those rules in place that you can't break. So it's like trading on hard mode, right? Started streaming basically for fun, because prior to that, I was running a marketing business that I just frankly hated. I realized that trading really is the only thing that I'm passionate about. So I wanted to basically make everything that I did surrounding trading, all right? So what I did is I was basically just making entertaining streams. I was basically just going in and trading different strategies and trading different risk management strategies and basically just trying to be entertaining and having fun. That's all I was really doing. And it all started really right here, day trading, but I never closed my position, right? I thought this was a creative, fun type of stream to do. Basically, the only rule was that once I opened a trade, I could either reverse the trade or add to the trade, but I could never close the trade during the market session, all right? So basically, I started doing this challenge, and what I noticed is that my entries were pretty good. But inevitably, when you trade with no stop loss, as we eventually will see, eventually the account gets blown, all right? Eventually, if you don't have a stop loss, we all know you're gonna go bust, right? That's just how it works. You need risk management. But I realized that I had a knack for good entries, right? My entries were good, and they would work out. The trades would go in my way fairly quickly. The only thing is that I basically would never close the trade, and eventually it would just go against me too much, and I would lose everything, right? So I thought to myself, what if I just did the exact opposite of what I just did? Because I was doing pretty well with no stop loss until you just hit that one day where the trade keeps going against you. So in theory, if I just traded with a super small stop loss, what would happen then? Because then I would never reach that day where the trade just goes against me forever and I lose everything. So let's see how that works out, right? Now, little did I know, this would be the start of my current trading strategy that I've developed ever since then, which is only 3 months ago, mind you, 3 months ago. And the results were astonishing, all right? Risk management was basically the key to everything. Of course, there is a trading strategy, not just risk management, but if you don't have the proper risk management, I realized you basically, eventually you always go bust, all right? So that's not anything new, okay? This is nothing revolutionary. But as I kept live streaming and refining this strategy, I realized that I accidentally stumbled upon basically the best trading strategy that I've ever found in the past 12 years, and it is 100% original and my own, okay? Now the concepts that go into it aren't 100% original, nothing new is under the sun, but the rules and the kind of style of this trading is 100% original. So now, before we get into the strategy, why do I regret teaching it? Well, the strategy is so good, I'm genuinely concerned that if I keep teaching everything 100% for free out in the open, which has already gotten millions of views combined on YouTube and TikTok and all the social media platforms, my strategy is pretty much already out there. Not 100% of it, but it's pretty much out there. And it's so out there and it blew up so much that I'm genuinely concerned that if I keep doing this, the strategy might not work. The market may get efficient with this strategy and the algos may change. And if enough people eventually know about the strategy, then like we all know, the strategy kind of goes bust, right? So I can't turn back the clock. I've already given away a majority of the strategy. In fact, you can go watch it here on my bootcamp 100% for free. Okay, there's like 3 hours worth of content in there where you can learn this exact strategy. It's the Simple Trader Bootcamp. So I'm not going to be a dickhead and, get rid of all these videos and try to be, this super secretive guy, because at the end of the day, I've committed to doing this social media stuff and helping people with their own trading through my experience and my own trading. So that's what I'm going to keep doing. So before we get into the strategy, let me be completely transparent about my prop firm journey, right? Let me show you some real unfakeable, raw stats. There is no faking this. So here is my Take Profit Trader account. These two accounts that got disabled or blown were during the no stop loss challenge. These two accounts are the only evals that I have after that challenge, okay? One of the accounts I passed, okay? So past tests, you can see I passed this evaluation account and I activated it and got an actual funded account. Let's go to my pro account and you're going to see that it is currently disabled. And I'm actually going to show you this funded account, okay? And we're going to look at the results here, and what do you know? Okay, we were doing perfectly fine. I was doing perfectly fine. And then all of a sudden blew up the account. Now, this is where I actually made a new rule for myself, which is never add to a loser. It just never works out. And that is one of the, if you could only walk away from this video with one lesson, it is never add to a loser. It just doesn't work. I don't know how people can make it work for them. I don't think it really does work for most people. I think most people that add to losers are probably, kind of shady and lying about their results, because if you keep adding to a loser, eventually you're going to blow up. That's just how it works, right? And it's easier to go on tilt because you start going into a massive drawdown and then you start adding and adding. It's just, I wouldn't recommend it. So as you can see, I was doing pretty fine on this account. And then it was just one day where I was just like, you know what, I'm great at trading. I'll just add to this trade and it'll go in my favor. And then, it went against me even more. So I'll just add to it even more. Eventually it's going to go in my favor. I'm the best trader on the planet. All right, this strategy is amazing. Well, eventually, if you keep doing that, you just go on tilt and blow up the whole account. So, but the one thing I want to highlight here is that most people think that everybody that they see on YouTube and on TikTok and whatever platform you're on, everybody looks so glorious with all of their funded accounts. But what you don't see is this right here. What you don't see is the amount of evaluation accounts that person has gone through, okay? I'm not going to name names, but as we've seen, we know many traders in the space that have gone through literally hundreds, if not thousands, of evaluation accounts. I'm here to show you I've had 4 evaluation accounts with Take Profit Trader. 1 I've already passed. 2 were blown because of just doing a stupid live stream challenge. And the next 2, by the way, I just passed this account today. Let me show you that. Here's my latest evaluation account that I just passed. Now it won't seem like it's passed. That's because I literally passed it today on the live stream. But this is now a funded account as well. I reached the profit target. You can see 5,200,873 here. Well, today I made $300 on this account, which brings me to the profit target of $53,000. So this account is passed. So really, I've basically tried 3 times. I've passed twice now. And I have 1 to go, and I've blown 2 accounts and 1 funded account. So this is the type of results that you want to see with a strategy that works. If you have to go through 500 evaluation accounts to just have 10 or 20 funded accounts, your strategy probably isn't all that great, all right? And you're probably being lied to by a lot of these people. I'm just keeping it real. If you need to go through 500, 1,000 evaluation accounts, listen, that's, in my opinion, that is just unhealthy trading. Okay, so I can't fake this. This is my dashboard. And by the way, let me be even more transparent. I got credits for Take Profit Trader accounts because of my following. So I emailed them. I'm like, hey, you want to let me try out your platform? They gave me some free credits. and I think it was 4. So these accounts, the first 2 were bought on credits. This pro account was bought on credits. Well, the eval was bought on credits, and then I passed it. And then this account as well was bought on credits, which I just passed. Okay, this is the only account that I've actually bought from them because they had a great sale. If you aren't aware, no fee 40. Code no fee 40 gets you 40% off and no activation fee. You can get an account for $100, right? Link in the description down below if you're interested in that. But I digress, all right? This is what you want to see. You want to see as little eval accounts. It's like the eval account to funded account ratio, all right? You probably want it to be as close to 1-to-1 as possible. In my case, it's something like, I don't know, 30%. 30% of the evals will actually become a funded account. So it took me about a month to pass this account. It took me about a month to pass the previous funded account that's already blown. And so it's taken me a little while to pass these evaluations. And a lot of the, bottom feeder worst traders right now are thinking, oh my God, it takes you a month to pass an eval. Your brain is rotten. Your brain has been rotted by these influencers that tell you to just full port it and just gamble the eval away. Now, that they benefit because you will buy more evals and they make that commission, okay? So this is what real trading looks like, all right? This is what a real strategy looks like. Slow and steady until you reach your profit goals, okay? No gambling and full porting. Sometimes I will full port on other accounts just for fun, but this is my real account. This is my real strategy. This is the real way that I trade live every single day on YouTube. I cannot fake this. So the strategy basically combines supply and demand and liquidity. The idea and the framework that I came up with is basically if I can find where the most orders are going to be sitting, then that should be the highest probability area where I can find a high probability trade, right? And so the idea is that the market will show you where there's an imbalance of orders, because when you see a sharp move like this, where that move originated from is essentially where the imbalance happened. Now, if we take the idea of liquidity sweeps as well, right, if you form a low here and now you have liquidity resting below this area, well, this is what I call an order zone, because now we have orders from the demand area, the imbalance area. We have those orders that are going to get filled, and then we also have people's stop losses sitting below this low. It's a liquidity sweep, right? So you're combining supply and demand and liquidity. There's a whole boot camp on this, like I said. So, go check it out after you watch this video. But now let's take a look at an example here that happened just today. This is not a trade that I took. I was actually short here, which is another example. But let me show you a bullish example of an order zone, and then I'll show you a bearish example as well. Okay, take a look to the left here, and what do you see? Okay, now I can spot this relatively easily because I've been doing this for a while, but this is an area of demand right here. Why? Because we have an imbalance, right? This is the origination point of this sharp move to the upside. But what we also see is that we have a low that formed inside that area of demand, okay? So now we have liquidity resting below these lows, and then we have an imbalance zone here, or AKA an area of demand. This is what I call an order zone. An order zone is a supply or demand zone that has liquidity resting within it or just before it, okay? Now, what do we see here? Check this out, right? We go into that zone, take out the liquidity, go right below that level, and immediately spike right up and back to the highs, okay? This is the power of order zones. Why do they work? Because there are a massive amount of orders in this general area, specifically resting below that black line, which is the area of liquidity that I marked out, okay? So this is just one example. Let me show you another example, and this is the trade that I took today to actually pass my funded account. This will be a bearish order zone, okay? What do we see here? We see liquidity resting just above these highs, right? And then to the left, take a look, we have an area of supply. Why is it an area of supply? Because we see an imbalance to the downside that originates from this area right here. Again, whole boot camp on how to identify this, so I'm not going to go super in depth, but if you have some experience trading, this all should make perfect sense to you, okay? And look what happened. I mean, you can't make this up. I got short here. In fact, I'll actually put my executions on the screen so that you can see that I'm not lying. I got short right here, all right? And I covered right down here once we got down to these lows, okay? Kind of early overall, but this is all I needed. And this was, by the way, a 5-to-1 risk to reward trade. Why was it a 5-to-1 risk to reward trade? Because I risk very small amounts, right? I use a small stop loss, which is the key that I discovered to pretty much everything about trading, right? you need to have good risk management. Okay, now how do I use a small stop loss? What do I use to calculate my stop loss? I use the ATR indicator, and my stop loss is always 1 ATR. So at the time of this entry point, okay, the ATR was roughly 12 points. So my stop loss is 12 points. So 12 points looks something like this. And as you can see, this is a 5.83, almost a 6-to-1 risk to reward trade. And if you watch the live stream today, you'll know that I had 3 losers, which almost never happens. Again, I have a 70 to 80% win rate, so 3 losers in a row was crazy. I was 100% on tilt, and then the beauty of the strategy is that just one good trade like this, all of it is wiped out. We had a massive green day because of the risk management involved. What you have to understand about trading is that the markets are super efficient. What does this mean? It means that it's really hard to find, some sort of edge over the market. Okay, your edge is going to come from making sure that you're not losing tons of money on one bad trade. You want to be able to catch these anomalies without having massive risk on the table. So the way that I find an edge is by always entering where I know there's going to be a lot of orders sitting, and also by pretty much never allowing the market to get me out for a large loss. Worst case scenario, I get out for a small loss and then maybe I re-enter at some other point, right? There's no reason why I should have a stop loss that looks like this. And then now this trade is basically an average winner for an average trader, 1.73 risk reward. You're not going to be able to trade profitably, in my opinion, if you have these wide stops. You need to have pinpoint entries that allow you to capture massive moves like this with as little risk as possible. And again, if you want to learn how to do that, check out the free bootcamp and join the free Discord, all right? Now, as a matter of fact, let me show you this live trade, this live short trade, as it happened, because I did it live on the live streams. And once again, if you're not in these daily live streams, I'm telling you, you're missing out, all right? It is the most transparent I think a trader can possibly be, because I am actually in this to win. I am in this to make money trading, not just from social media, right? So I am being as transparent as possible, trying to help as many people as possible live every single day. So really, I think you're missing out if you're not joining these live streams. But let's watch this trade unfold as it happens. As you can see, my face down here, I'm in a terrible mood because I just lost 3 times in a row, and I had a bunch of software glitches. It was a really bad day, all right? But what did I do? I stuck to the plan, and I knew that because of the risk management that I implement, that one good trade is all I need to bring back everything, to bring back the entire day, make the whole day positive, all right? So I stuck around, despite all the trolls on TikTok, all the haters commenting that I suck and all this stuff. I stuck to it, all right? So as you can see, we're currently in that bearish order zone that I just showed you a couple minutes ago, right? We have this imbalance area right here, and then we have the liquidity level right here. So I recognize that we're seeing a rejection of that area, and I go short, all right? I go short 5 micros. Another tip, don't trade minis. You're gonna blow up your account, okay? Do not trade minis, trade micros. It's okay. Nice and steady, don't gamble. Okay, you're going to see that I'm going to look at the ATR and I'm going to place my stop loss 12 points away, right? Because that is what the ATR says to do, 12 points away. So I don't need to even worry about where I'm placing my stop loss. It's literally just whatever the ATR tells me to do. 1 ATR from my entry point, that is my stop loss every single time. Now look at how short and small that stop loss is, all right? So I'm going to just watch this now and let the magic happen, right? Massive tank down towards these lows. All right, I'm gonna lock in. Look at my face over here. I am locked in. I'm not even moving. I look frozen. All right, I put a trailing stop loss. I bring that trailing stop loss down in here. Actually, I think I just close out. Yeah, I just close out the trade there. Okay, and boom, just like that, one good trade, monster trade is all I needed. And like I always say on stream, with this strategy, you can trade like an absolute idiot, like I was today, and still make money and still come out on top. The key is, again, risk management and finding an edge with an entry point that is going to allow you to either be right away or wrong right away. I am either right away or wrong right away, and that's the end of the story. I'm not going to sit in a losing position and just let the market just drag me around. No, the market is either going to do what I want it to do or I'm out of the trade. And that is the mentality you need in order to trade successfully, in my opinion. Okay, so now let's take a look at a bullish order zone example. Again, this is from one of my live streams. What do we see to the left? We see an imbalance, right? An area of demand, and then a low right here, which is going to mean that people have their stop losses placed below this low, which also coincides with people that have their buy orders resting at this demand area. So I'm waiting for price to break below this low, and then I'm going to look to enter. Now, I can't give away all my secrets. I can't tell you what exactly I'm looking for as my entry criteria, but if you watch my live streams long enough, I'm sure you'll pick it up eventually. All right, so now we're coming down into that low. I'm watching very closely, and it's going to happen very quickly. All right, we're going to go and tap below this low. All right, so there it is. We're breaking that low. We're entering that order zone. I'm watching the price action very closely, and boom, I hit the buy button, all right? So I'm in 4 contracts there, and now look at my stop loss, right? My stop loss is extremely small. That red line is my stop loss. That blue line is my entry. My stop loss is 8 points. Why is my stop loss 8 points? Because the ATR is 8, right? So it's 1 ATR. And boom, we start going up right away. What did I say? I'm either right away or I'm wrong, and I immediately go to a break even. Why am I going to break even immediately? Because again, I should be right away or wrong right away. So I'm not going to give my trades that much room to breathe, right? It should either go in my direction or it's going to stop me out for a break even or a small loss, and then I just look to re-enter. That's the beauty of the strategy, right? You can see I almost got stopped out there for a break even, but I luckily, oh no, I do get stopped out. Okay, so watch, this is even a better example because I'm likely going to just re-enter. So you can see that we go back into this zone. We're doing basically a retest. This is what I call a second touch. I re-enter right there, boom. Okay, stop loss once again is about 8 points, and boom, I go to a break even pretty much right away. Now, let's just watch this trade play out. I'm going to target some previous highs, scale out of my position. You can see I'm scaling out at those highs. All right, let's just fast forward a little bit. Okay, still in this trade, still scaling out. I have 1 contract left. Now I'm playing chess. And there you go. This is what I use. This is my tick chart. This is, again, a little more advanced, but I trade both tick charts and time charts. Okay, I'm now trailing based off of the tick chart. You can see right here, and boom, I'm out of the trade, okay? So again, that is the beauty of this trade. I'm either right away, or I'm wrong right away, but when I'm right, price usually goes way more in my direction than it goes against me, and when I'm wrong, I'm out for a very small loss, which means that I can trade like an idiot and still make money, okay? So again, if you want to learn this strategy, I have a free bootcamp right here. This is the only playlist that I have on my YouTube channel, and I also have a free Discord. Now, going forward, I'm really not comfortable giving away my strategy for free. It really, I mean, why would I do that? It can only hurt me, all right? But I still do want to help people, and I still want to give, I still want to have a small community of traders that trade the strategy that I do, because I also benefit from having other traders that are trading my strategy, because they might discover something that I don't know yet. And what I also wanted to do was create a program where you pay a small fee up front and then you have access forever. So a lot of people, they will make a course. A lot of these gurus will make a course, and then 6 months later, they'll make another course, and then you have to buy that course again and again and again for $3,000 a pop, right? That is insane. Now, instead, what I did was create a course that is, 1, affordable, okay? The price of 2 evaluation accounts, and 2, if you buy it for life, okay? I'm going to be adding videos to this course as time goes on, because like I said, this strategy is relatively new. The concepts aren't new, but the strategy itself is relatively new. And so as I continue my journey with this strategy, as I continue to learn and add to the strategy, everything is going to be put into this course, even if you already paid for it. If you already bought the course, then you get all of the updates 100% for free. Basically, you buy it one time for life, and that is it, all right? So if you want to learn the strategy, I'm telling you, just go watch the free bootcamp. That teaches you basically 90% of what you need to know. But the things that I need to keep secret, the things that I can't just go and just give out for free, there's literally no reason why I should do that. The things that are more advanced and the details that actually make, the entries and, specifically what I look for, how to read the price action in the zones and all this stuff. If you're interested in that, you need more help after the bootcamp, then feel free to check out the Simple Trader Blueprint. The link is in the description down below. This is the only course I will ever sell. And as time goes on, as I add more videos, the price is going to go up. So I also wanted to make it so that the best time to buy is always right now. That is the cheapest price. You get the cheapest price guaranteed, all right? Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to join the free Discord, watch the free boot camp, all this stuff, and also, most importantly, watch the free live streams every single day, all right? Literally 100% free live streams. Everything that I do, people charge thousands of dollars for, so, I'm not sure what else I can do, all right? So, thank you guys once again. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.